When Jesus saw this act of plucking as an act for satisfying their hunger, the Pharisees saw it as yielding, which is a violation of Sabbath law. May the peace and joy of Christ be with you today. Satisfying hunger is not an option, but there are people who do not have food even as an option. In today's gospel, we see Jesus stepping in to defend his disciples who were accused by the Pharisees of violating the Sabbath law because they plucked the grains of wheat. And Jesus goes on to defend them by quoting the incidents from the Bible, which probably the Pharisees were not aware of or they conveniently ignored. In fact, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23 allows plucking of grain for poor, widows and weak, and also strangers and wanderers. And Jesus and his disciples were wanderers, and the disciples could easily pluck the grains and eat. But the problem here was plucking was okay, but yielding was not okay. When Jesus saw this act of plucking as an act for satisfying their hunger, the Pharisees saw it as yielding, which is a violation of Sabbath law. Those who do not know the pain of hunger probably cannot know the value of food either. And Jesus knew the value of food very well. And that's why a couple of times we see Jesus performing even miracles to feed the hungry. The Pharisees accused the hungry, but Jesus defended the hungry, because Jesus was the defender of the weak, the vulnerable, and the poor. Denying food is denying life. And according to the UN report, over 9 million people die of hunger every year. And we gratefully remember and pray for those organizations and individuals who make all efforts to feed the hungry. And there are many of them. And how sad it is to read the news like the Dalit youth was beaten to death because he stole some food. 11-year-old boy was beaten to death because he stole food. A mentally ill child was beaten to death because he stole food. Jesus defends the poor, the hungry, and the weak. Feeding the hungry is not just a generosity, it is a responsibility. It is both a human and divine act. And that's why we would see in most of the places which are considered a place of worship or divine, also provide food for the hungry. My dear friend, do you provide or deny? Do you promote or prohibit? Denying food is denying life. May the love of Christ redeem us. Amen.